All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Racha, Radash. Double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to you brothers out on the highways and byways, pushing this truth with fear and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect. Shabbat Chalak Har, coming back at you with another video. And on this Day of Atonement, you know, a lot is a lot is happening. You know, a lot is coming out to the forefront as far as dealing with Esau and his kingdom. You know, right now you got the government shut down. That's happening. You got Trump calling all these generals to come together to talk war. Pete Hegseth's telling them they need to get in shape. You know, whose side are you on? Who you riding with? Your pledge of allegiance to Babylon the Great. You know, all these generals. Not only that, you got war that's picking up. You know, Iran and Israel. Iran declaring that they're gonna, you know, send drones and they already did. Send drones and ballistic missiles. You know, to Israel. You know, starting up that tension once again. Because before, back in I think June, around the 13th to the 27th, it was a 12-day war. You know, they shot rockets and missiles at each other. You know, disrupted their dome. You know, Israel, along with America, killing a lot of generals in Iran. You know, Babylon, America helping them bomb nuclear sites, but Iran moving their, you know, nuclear missiles around and whatnot. So this is starting to pick up again. You know, and not only that, you got Trump declaring war on the U.S. citizens, pretty much. You know, that's why they named it the Department of War. You know, they showing those horns. You know, that came up as a little horn. You know, that little horn is America. You know, Babylon the Great, flexing his might, you know, because this devil knows he has a short time. You know, there's a time for everything. As a matter of fact, let's get that before we start this video. Ecclesiastes 3. It's a time of war. Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 8. It says, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're in a time of war. We're not in a time of love. We're not in a time of peace. When Trump they came out with a 21-point peace plan for the Gaza Strip. But we know what they want to do. They want to get rid of those 2 million, you know, Palestinians that's in that land and take over the land, put resorts on it, put their stamp on it, put their flag on it, and not only that, move throughout the world, conquering the world, you know, through America, you know, even conquering America. Because right now, what do you have? You have the small hats buying up all the social media. TikTok and X is their last go for the social side of things. They already own the media in America. They already own the Democrat and Republican seats, the Senate. They already own all of that. They want full control because this devil has been exposed. So with them being exposed, Esau got to what? Esau got to use his sword, his blessing, which is the sword. And the modern day sword is what? These army tanks, these guns, these weapons, social media, you know, the governments of the world. And these various different governments, i.e. Iran, Russia, North Korea, they're not with that. They're not with the total dominance of the Israeli Jewish state. Nobody wants that. And they talking up against it and they want it out. I believe in the UN, 80% of the UN recognize Palestine as a state. You know, so the covering cast, the covering veil has been revealed on these devils, man. And sooner or later, these devils are going to come down with more and more wrath. And they setting up the shop for it. That's why it says it's a time to love and a time to hate. Definitely in a time of hating. Because these small hats, they're hating what they're seeing. They're hating what their kingdom is slipping away from them. Going back to that birthright. A time of war and a time of peace. They keep talking about peace. Trump told the UN that he stopped 7 wars. He's the president of peace and whatnot. But all you see is destruction out there. You know, 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, talks about that. But we're going to get into some of these videos, get some scriptures, and that'll be the lesson. Lord willing, you edify.
Top of the White House right now, you an idiot. Top of the whitehouse.gov website right now, you can see a banner that says Democrat shutdown is imminent. It's not just the whitehouse.gov website. The HUD.gov website also has a big alert when you get on it that says the radical left in Congress shut down the government. HUD will use available resources to help Americans in need. Let me fucking remind you that the Republican Party currently controls the presidency, the House of Representatives, and the fucking Senate. And fuck if I don't mention that they also control the Supreme Court with a 6-3 MAGA majority. Somehow, they think that if they can bombard you with false information, that you're gonna fucking believe what they're selling. The fucked up part about this is that a lot of people don't even know what the shutdown will actually mean. So here's what it will actually mean. Food and Drug Administration, as an example, already warned that it would end its ability to monitor the use of new ingredients in animal food, and thus would not be able to ensure the meat, milk, and eggs of livestock are safe for the public to eat. So get ready for more foodborne illnesses. Also, Social Security checks are going to be fucking impacted. Why? Because the Social Security Administration could face a furloughed workforce, and fewer workers could mean the processing new Social Security applications could be delayed. Here's the worst part of it all. Federal workers will not be paid during the shutdown. And yet, employees who are considered essential must still report to work, although they will not get paid until the government fucking reopens. Rest assured that Donald Trump and members of Congress, they will still receive their paychecks because their pay is constitutionally protected. Hear me when I say this, and I mean this with all fucking sincerity.
And you said the White House or the government is shutting down, right? Causing division, more division. You know, Yahweh Shah talked about division, I think in Matthew, the 12th chapter. Matthew 12 and verse 24, 25. Yeah, because there was, at this time, it was calling Beelzebub, you know, a prince of the demons. Matthew 12 and 25, it says, And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And the governments of America are divided against itself. Verse 26 says, If Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then shall his kingdom stand? You know, how then should his kingdom stand? His kingdom is not going to stand. You know, they want to do a dictatorship, you know, taking over other people, other rights of the people. That's why they're building up. You know, Trump is sending the National Guard to these cities, Memphis, Portland, you know, to wage war on the citizens. That's why he pulled all of those generals and said, look, man, this is what we about to do. And if you're not with it, you know, there's the exit door right there. We about to wage war. We about to clean up this stuff. We about to, you know, come down with great wrath. You know, and the men of the Lord are in these cities, man. You know, and what do they want to do? They want to get the men of the Lord off the streets. Revelation 16. No, I didn't want that right now. It's Salakia. But like I was saying, these you know, Esau Edom, he wants to wage war. He wants to, you know, eliminate the enemy, which is you Israelites, man. Especially you Israelites that's bringing out this truth. You know, he wants that to stop. Let's get this other one.
coming in hot. This morning, President Trump told a room-packed law is coming. Breaking news, martial law is coming in hot. This morning, President Trump told a room packed with generals that America is facing a war from within. He wasn't talking about a foreign enemy. He was talking about our own cities. Trump named places like San Francisco, Chicago, New York, and LA as training grounds for U.S. troops. And here's the kicker. Troops are already on the ground in at least 5 major cities: Memphis, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Portland, and Los Angeles. The president said we're under invasion from within. No different than fighting a foreign war, except this enemy doesn't wear uniform. His defense secretary backed him up, calling for looser rules of engagement and untying the hands of soldiers here at home. Critics say this crosses into dangerous territory, that it blurs the line between military and law enforcement and risks putting American troops directly against American citizens. One thing is certain: the United States military is no longer just preparing for war overseas. It's being positioned for war on U.S. soil. I've been trying to prepare you for this since 2023. I told you it was coming. I will get some new videos together as soon as possible. All is coming. Breaking news.
Yeah, raging war on the citizens. And what I wanted was Revelation 6, not 16. Talking about that red horse. Revelation 6 and verse 4. Highlighted. Well, damn. Ain't nothing but Esau killing the app. Revelation 6. And I started at 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they shall kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So power was given to him, that red horse. And who's that red horse? That's Esau. He's been given this a great sword, like this blessing. If you go back to Genesis 27, Genesis 27, and I start at 36. I'll start at 35. And he said, "Thy brother came with subtlety, and he has taken away thy blessing." And this is what this all goes back to. This goes back to Jacob and Esau. Jacob supplanted Esau for his blessing. That's why Jacob's name is Yaakov in the Hebrew. It means supplanter, because he supplanted Esau, which Esau came in I'm hungry, I'm about to die, telling you Esau is of the flesh. He's fleshly. He don't got that spirit in him. Coming from the field, because he's been out there hunting and doing whatever he do in the field. And he came back and he was hungry. And Jacob, he said, give me your birthright for this pot of uncooked or not cooked all the way meat, venison. Verse 36 says, "And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he's taken away my blessing." And he said, "Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?" Now this is Esau talking to Isaac. Like, Isaac blessed me. Jacob, my brother, supplanted me and took away my blessing. Do you have anything for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, "Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. With corn and wine have I sustained him, and what shall I do now unto thee, my son?" And Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck. And Esau hated Jacob, and because of his blessing wherewith, and his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning my father are at hand, then I will slay my brother. So again, Esau's blessings is what? The fatness of the earth and the dew from heaven, the fatness from earth, and the sword. And this is what he's trying to take back. This is what he's going after right now. He's controlling the narrative. He's trying to control the narrative. But the Lord is gonna, the Lord is gonna break his bonds. The Lord is gonna, when he's in full straits, the Lord is gonna come and interrupt all of that. What is he going for? He's going for that new world order, the mark of the beast, the sea hip, the chip. That's his motto. That's his full motto. Full control over everything. So that's why it says that you should have a sword, right? Where is it at again? Yeah. And by thy sword thou shalt live, by thy sword. Like it says in Revelation 6, going back to that. Revelation 6:4, and there came out another horse that was red, Esau, and the power was given him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, which he's doing now. And they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So we know this is Esau, Edom. We know the Lord is using Esau, Edom, to bring judgment. That cruel Lord, right? As a lapdog, which is Trump. So we know the Lord is preparing judgment. Every day does the Lord wake up and his judgments is brought to light. This is Deuteronomy 32, and I'll start at 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. Here's the point, if I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me. Now, 2/3 of our people are the Lord's enemies. You heathen are the Lord's enemies. You, the wicked, you have a day that's going to come as well. But the Lord is using this devil. I think it says in Isaiah the 10th chapter, O Assyrian would die. Hold on, let's get that real quick. We'll come back. I don't want to miss it. 10:5. Yeah, O Assyrian. Isaiah 10:5. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger and the staff in thy hand is my indignation. So the Lord has this devil set up to bring hell upon earth, just like we read in Revelation, the 6th chapter. He was given a great sword, that red horse that ran out. I'm going to read it again, Deuteronomy 32:41. If I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on visions, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me. So Esau, he's been given the sword as his blessing to take peace from the earth. The Lord is glittering. If I sharpen, that word wet means sharpen. If I whet my glittering sword, that means that sword is that indignation, that persecution is coming. We know what this devil is up to. We're not ignorant of his devices. We know he's trying to spin the narrative, trying to make it seem like he's not, the one that's out for blood. Verse 42 says, I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives, from the beginning of vengeance or revenge upon my enemies. So the Lord is really about to open up a can of whoop ass, through Esau, Edom. That's why it's, if you don't have the covered, if you're not covered by the blood of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, your days are numbered. You're a walking corpse. You're already dead anyway. But the Lord is he's making it known. He's getting it ready. He's getting it ready. Let's listen to that again.
with generals that America is facing a law is coming. Breaking news, martial law is coming in hot. This morning, President Trump told a room packed with generals that America is facing a war from within. He wasn't talking about a foreign enemy. He was talking about our own cities. Trump named places like San Francisco, Chicago, New York, and LA as training grounds for U.S. troops. And here's the kicker. Troops are already on the ground in at least 5 major cities: Memphis, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Portland, and Los Angeles. The president said we're under invasion from within. No different than fighting a foreign war, except this enemy doesn't wear uniform. His defense secretary backed him up, calling for looser rules of engagement and untying the hands of soldiers here at home. Critics say this crosses into dangerous territory, that it blurs the line between military and law enforcement and
Hey, the scriptures say, deliver me from this wicked man, right? Well, Psalms 140. Deliver me, O Lord, from this wicked man. It's one of them Benjamite songs I'll be listening to, man. I think about that every time. This Psalms 140 to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Deliver me, O Lord, Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. Look at that. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adders poison is under their lips. Selah. Keep me, O Lord Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. And that's the men of the Lord. They want us off the streets. They want us out of here. Now, granted, you have a lot of people that's coming out against the system, coming out and saying this and that and the third, but at the end of the day, it's about having Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. Because if you don't have Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, you're not going to be able to withstand. You're not going to be able to get through, through these hard times that's coming. Remember, this devil is coming on with great wrath. Remember, it was a time for peace, a time for war, it's a time for hate. We're in time of hate and war. This devil is not gonna let up by any means. That's why we can constantly pray to the Lord to preserve us, man. Keep me from the wicked. Psalm 64, just thought of. Psalm 64, starting at 2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongues like a sword, who sharpen their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them in the heart is deep, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly they shall be wounded. So the Most High is protecting his elect of the nation of Israel. Everybody else is casualties waiting to happen. So again, these are things that you have to meditate on. These are things you have to think upon. You got to think upon, you want to be safe. You want to ask God, ask the Most High, Yahweh, to keep you safe. Yahweh Shah to keep you safe. Because Yahweh Shah even said, I didn't come to send peace, I came to send a sword, right? Matthew 12 and 24 or something. Oh wait, no, Matthew 10 and 34. Matthew 10 and verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against the mother, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. So all out division, destruction is coming. Not only that, think about the asteroid 31 that's coming, right? They tell you that that it's a ship that's coming. You know how Esau is. You can take it, through the spirit. This might cause a blackout. This might cause a disruption in telecommunications. This might cause this. It might cause that. So you got to keep your eyes peeled on things like this, right? But nevertheless, war is coming. Not peace, war. And we know the civil wars is coming. We know, sword and destruction is coming. It's said in 2 Edges 15 and 16. So that's all I wanted to bring out for right now. Just keep your eyes peeled. Things that's happening upon this Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement. That's fasting for 24 hours. Nothing to eat, nothing to drink. Started last night about 6:50, 6:51 or so. And goes all the way until the sun goes down today. So, Lord willing, you got something out of this. You're edified. Shalom.